Imagine looking at a clock and realizing it's lying to you. Not metaphorically, like actually lying. You swear it's been 5 hours, but it's been 20 minutes. Or the opposite. You blink, and suddenly it's Tuesday. After just 24 hours without sleep, your perception of time starts doing backflips. But after 72 hours, time goes completely feral. Your internal clock, the one that runs on circadian rhythms and good intentions, just throws its hands up and quits. You might find yourself staring at a wall, convinced you've been there for days. Or maybe you'll try to make coffee and forget halfway through what coffee even is. This happens because your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for judgment and attention, starts to slow down dramatically, like a tired raccoon in a maze made of fog. At the same time, your amygdala, aka your personal anxiety hamster, gets hyperactive. So, congratulations. Not only is time fake now, but you're also more emotional, more irrational, and way more likely to cry over a missing sock. The official term is temporal disorientation, and it's not just confusing, it's kind of horrifying. Because when you can't tell how long something's been happening, your brain starts panicking. Every second feels like forever, and forever feels like it's already over. It's basically you become the unreliable narrator of your own life. And that's only the start. Now let's talk about auditory hallucinations. You know, casual stuff. Like hearing voices in the white noise of your fan. Or thinking the refrigerator just whispered your name at around 48 hours without sleep. Your brain starts to get a little experimental. But by the 72-hour mark, it's gone full avant-garde theater. You might hear sounds that aren't their music, voices, tapping, static. Not because you're crazy, but because your brain is basically running low on RAM. And starts autofilling reality. It's like a buggy chatbot. This is because the sleep-deprived brain has trouble filtering noise from nonsense. Your thalamus, which normally acts like a nightclub bouncer for sensory input, just lets everything in. So the creak of a door becomes a whisper. A water drip turns into a lullaby. A distant truck becomes your dead grandma, asking if you've eaten fun, and it's not just spooky, it's dangerous. Because once your brain gets comfortable making stuff up, it doesn't stop at sounds. At 72 hours without sleep, your brain finally says, all right, reality is optional now. And your eyes get the memo too. Visual hallucinations start showing up like uninvited guests at a very bad dinner party. Shadows twitch.
Objects shimmer.
You might see bugs that aren't there, or people who vanish when you blink. For some reason, the edges of things seem to move. Cool, right? It's like your brain accidentally turned on the glitch filter. This isn't a horror movie. It's your occipital lobe short-circuiting. Your visual processing center is so tired it can't tell the difference between real input and imagined garbage. It's like when your internet connection is so bad the video keeps buffering on the worst possible frame, but now it's your actual eyes doing that. Even scarier. You may not even realize you're hallucinating. It's called anosognosia, which is a fancy word for your brain is lying to itself and thinks everything's fine. You could be talking to a lamp and think it's your cousin. The brain would go, yep, seems legit. Yeah. After 3 days without sleep, your entire visual system is basically a haunted funhouse, except you can't leave, because you are the funhouse. Let's be real. Your body does not appreciate your little no sleep for 72 hours challenge. And at this point, it's decided to retaliate. Dramatically first, your heart rate becomes unpredictable. Like, are we running from wolves? Or taking a nap? Levels of confusion. Your blood pressure can spike or plummet, start getting cold sweats, tremors, and muscle twitches. It's basically your nervous system starts glitching like a badly coded video game NPC. This is your autonomic nervous system freaking out. It controls everything you don't consciously think about, like breathing, heartbeats, and digestion. But sleep deprivation messes with its ability to self-regulate. It's like giving a toddler the steering wheel of a semi-truck. Your body wants to maintain balance, but it's also running on fumes and despair. And let's not forget microsleepsthenia. Involuntary blackouts where your brain checks out for a few seconds. Could be walking, talking, or driving when it suddenly hits pause. You're not even aware it's happening, but you'll suddenly find yourself mid-sentence wondering how you got there. It's like your body is saying, "Look, if you won't sleep, I will, and I don't care when." If you thought your body was holding it together, think again, because after 72 hours without sleep, your immune system basically rage quits. You become the human equivalent of an unsecured Wi-Fi network, wide open to viruses, bacteria, and anything else that wants to ruin your week. See, while you sleep, your body produces cytokines, proteins that help regulate inflammation and fight infections. But when you don't sleep, cytokine production tanks. Your white blood cells, sluggish, your natural killer cells, practically on vacation. Your internal defense force is now made of sleepy toddlers with Nerf guns. Studies show that sleep people are significantly more likely to get sick after exposure to common viruses. You don't just feel like trash, you are biologically more vulnerable. It's not just the sniffles either. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to higher risks of diabetes, heart disease, and even some cancers. And let's not even talk about what this does to wound healing. You could get a paper cut and still be bleeding next Tuesday. Basically, without sleep, your body stops doing maintenance. You're now operating a rental car with the check engine light flashing and nobody's coming to fix it. So, yeah. Time someone brags about pulling 3 all-nighters, just remind them their T cells are crying. If you thought you were emotionally stable before this sleep deprivation experiment, well, buckle up now. Because by hour 72, your emotions are doing interpretive dance with no music. Small inconveniences become existential crises, a mildly sad song. Makes you sob like your goldfish just died. Don't even think about watching a Pixar movie, you will lose it. This is thanks to a lovely little miscommunication between your amygdala and your prefrontal cortex. The amygdala, remember, is your brain's emotional alarm bell. It gets louder when you're sleep deprived. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part that normally says, "Okay, calm down, it's just a parking ticket," is too tired to argue. So you end up reacting to everything like it's the worst thing that's ever happened. You might lash out over nothing. Or you might laugh hysterically at something that isn't funny, or both. Simultaneously, you become the human version of a mood swing. There's a reason sleep deprivation has been used as a form of psychological torture. It turns your emotional landscape into a minefield. And nobody, not even you, knows where the mines are. Ever tried to remember where you left your keys, only to realize you don't remember owning keys? Welcome to the memory wipe portion of your no-sleep adventure. After 72 hours without sleep, your short-term memory becomes so unreliable it might as well be powered by wet cardboard. Forget multitasking. You'll be lucky if you can hold on to one coherent thought at a time. Your brain's hippocampus, the part responsible for forming new memories, is operating like it's underwater with a blindfold on. You might start forgetting entire conversations, zoning out mid-task, or repeating yourself like a broken podcast. Even forming long-term memories becomes basically impossible. That life-altering insight you just had, it's gone. That hilarious comeback you were just about to say, also gone. You've become the main character in a sitcom with selective amnesia. Except nobody's laughing. This is the same reason sleep is essential for learning. It's when your brain decides which new info to save and which to toss out with the mental trash. No sleep equals no file storage. You're downloading data all day but forgetting to hit save. And don't expect your friends or coworkers to notice right away. On the outside, you might look fine. On the inside, your brain is desperately flipping through blank pages and whispering, "I swear I had that fact somewhere." Here's where things start getting really weird and a little scary. Because by the 72-hour mark, your brain isn't just tired. It's paranoid, anxious, and maybe, just maybe, a little unhinged. People deprived of sleep for long enough often start experiencing delusions, firm beliefs in things that aren't true. You might become convinced your phone is spying on you, that your friends are plotting something, that your reflection is blinking out of sync. The line between rational thought and total fiction gets blurry fast. This happens because your dopamine levels are all over the place. At first, sleep deprivation can cause a spike in dopamine, giving you that weird second wind. But after 72 hours, your brain stops handling it properly, leading to erratic behavior, paranoia, and in some cases, it's full-blown psychosis. This is why. Sleep deprivation is a major symptom in mental health conditions, like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Even healthy people can start slipping into dangerous territory when their brain is denied rest for long enough. Your mind starts generating its own twisted version of reality, part stress dream, part horror film, all happening while you're awake. So no, it's not just being tired. It's your brain staging a psychological coup because it's sick of your nonsense. Yup, we've reached that part of the list. After 72 hours without sleep, your body doesn't just feel off, it starts to smell off too. Not in the I forgot deodorant kind of way. We're talking biological funk. A deep hormonal funk. See. Chronic sleep deprivation messes with your endocrine system, which regulates hormones like cortisol, testosterone, and insulin. When these hormones get out of whack, your sweat changes, your skin oils change, your entire chemical signature shifts. The result? You might start emitting a uniquely sour, stressy smell that's detectable even to other people. Subtle, but definitely there. There's even some evidence that humans can subconsciously detect emotional distress through scent. So if people are avoiding you like you're wearing OD existential crisis, it's not just in your head. Your body is low-key, broadcasting danger through your pores. This also ties into another issue: poor hygiene. After 72 hours of no sleep, you probably haven't showered. You've definitely forgotten to brush your teeth at least once, and you might be drinking your third Red Bull from a mug you haven't washed since Tuesday. Your choices don't help the situation. But hey, don't worry, your BO is just your body's way of screaming, please rest. Like a passive-aggressive roommate that starts leaving notes via your armpits. By day 3 of 0 sleep, your metabolism is fully panicking. Think something terrible is happening, famine, plague, or maybe just a really bad party. And so, in a beautifully dysfunctional overreaction, it starts doing two things: hoarding. Fat and demanding carbs like it's being paid in donuts. Sleep is directly tied to ghrelin and leptin, the hormones that regulate hunger and fullness. Ghrelin says, feed me, and leptin says, I'm good. After 72 hours awake, ghrelin's cranked up to 11, and leptin's off somewhere crying in a corner. Result? You feel ravenous, not just snacky apocalyptic hunger, and not for healthy stuff either. Your body wants sugar, simple carbs, and anything that can be eaten with one hand while lying on the floor, ironically. Even though your appetite is screaming, your metabolism slows down. Your body goes into energy-saving mode, assuming the world is ending and sleep is no longer an option. So you gain weight while eating like a trash goblin, and because your insulin sensitivity drops, your blood sugar gets all over the place. You spike, crash, spike again. It's a glucose roller coaster, and your pancreas is just trying to hold on. So, yeah. After 72 hours of no sleep, your body thinks you're lost in the woods during a famine, and its solution? Eat 6 muffins, feel nothing, and cry over a potato chip commercial. Let's get one thing straight. You can't actually die just from staying awake for 72 hours, usually. But your brain doesn't know that, so it starts prepping for a worst-case scenario. And that means something terrifying. Your body begins to mimic signs of organ distress. You might get chest pain, dizziness, blurred vision, or nausea so bad it feels like food is personally offended by you. Your body temperature may drop, your speech slurs. You move slower, think slower, and look exactly like someone having a mild medical emergency. And in a way you are, because the longer you stay awake, the closer you get to something called REM rebound, an emergency catch-up mode, where your brain tries to shove all the missed deep sleep into your next nap. When that happens, you can fall asleep standing up, hit REM instantly, and go into the most intense dreams of your life in seconds. Hallucinations, nightmares, sleep paralysis, all while your body's still technically upright. This is your brain going, I don't care what you're doing, I'm sleeping now. And honestly, it's not a request. It's a hostage situation. So you've survived the 72-hour mark. Congrats. You're delirious, twitchy, possibly hallucinating, and your sweat smells like regret. But here's the kicker. The effects don't go away overnight. Even after a full night's sleep, your cognitive performance can take days to recover. Some studies show that immune and hormone levels take up to a week to normalize. And if you make this kind of sleep deprivation a habit, you're setting yourself up for long-term damage, like increased risks of depression, cardiovascular disease, and early cognitive decline. Fun stuff. Sleep isn't optional. It's not some bonus round at the end of the day. It's a full biological reset button. Skip it long enough. Your body doesn't just suffer, it remembers. So next time you're tempted to pull an all-nighter, remember, your brain will hallucinate shadows, your immune system will betray you, and your metabolism will treat you like an abandoned pet. Just go to bed. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.